Hi guys, thank you very much for tuning into another video of my life, and in this one we are going to do an unboxing of a mouse. In particular, it's going to be a TECKNET Rechargeable Bluetooth Mouse. It's slim profile, silent, wireless. It's got 2.4 gigahertz USB connector and a Bluetooth 5.0 or 3.0 connection. So it can connect to two different devices in effect at the same time, and you can switch in between the two. It is also rechargeable, so it comes with a USB connector and it's got a built-in battery rather than you having to put in a AA or AAA or anything else like that. Now, as with all my videos, to start off with, I'm going to share some of my thoughts around mice or mouses, whichever you prefer, and how I arrived at this particular mouse as the one that I'd like to go for. So it's only fair to start off with what I used to use. Now, right at the start, I used to use a mouse, which is this one. So this is the Logitech mouse. It's USB only, so it's many years old, this one. And it has a button at the bottom, you pop it up, two batteries in there, and this mouse served me well. Like all of my mouses, I've dropped these things too many times. Okay, just too many times. It's fair to say you shouldn't really drop it that many times, but it has. You can see it has been used for a long time. You can see the rubber wearing out, and eventually it stopped working. Okay, eventually it stopped working. So the right click wasn't working properly, so you had to use the left one as a right click and so on. But it served me quite well, limited in terms of its capabilities because it's only USB. And as you can see, this is the old type, the long USB, rather than the short one that you get these days. So that again shows its age, and it's a laser mouse as well, rather than infrared or anything else like that. So thing to look out for here is you got two buttons, 1, 2, 3 on the press. This is for fixed scrolling, for example, or opening a link in a new tab in your browser. And you got the left and the right scroll as well. You can see those two arrows there, left and the right. Logitech also produces a wired mouse, which is a classic, I think it's called B910, something else or the other. And that was the mouse I used even before this one. You know, again, just workhorse-like. Very reliable. It is wired, however, so it's a bit limited. This brings you in the 21st century, but this is an old mouse. Okay, remember that this is not new. This is old. So that's background. Another mouse that I got, which I kind of got really for free. Okay, in a way, because I was buying a keyboard and the price was so good for the keyboard. I mean, this is a Technet mouse. There is an unboxing of that Technet a keyboard and mouse combo, which you can check out if you so wish to do. I might put the link in the description, or alternatively you can just have a look and browse around on my channel. But so what's different about this? Loud click. Okay, so you know this didn't cost too much. You can just tell that by the clicks. You can see how loud that was. Sorry about that. And you got the click in the middle. There's no left or right scroll like this. And left, right scroll, many people won't be bothered about that. I found it quite useful because of the sort of work I was doing. It's fine, even if without it, it's fine. I can carry on with my work and so on. But it's just a bit of a luxury to have. I wouldn't specially go out of my way to get something which has the left and right scroll on the scroll wheel. This right here is there to change between different DPIs. Okay, DPI is dots per inch. The higher, in general, the higher the better, the more fine control you're going to have. Especially, for example, dragging and dropping, drawing something. Imagine if you're drawing something on paint, cutting something manually, right, rather than using a fixed sort of cutting tool, which is only cutting in square or circle. You want to kind of customize it around or highlight something, but not just in a straight line, something in a picture or something like that. The higher the DPI, the more control you're going to have. Okay, so this was, in effect, as far as I'm concerned, a bit of a freebie. Okay, how long did it last for? Not long. Again, like all my other mouses, it's been dropped a few times if I'm working on my sofa or something else like that. So maybe it was the Knox, but to be fair with you, I don't think it was the Knox. I think it's just so cheap that you can't really expect too many things from it. But there we are. It didn't matter. Like I said, treat it as a freebie anyway. If you have any issues with anything like that, always contact the manufacturer, and I'm sure they'll fix it. This is TECKNET, okay? Usually, if an electronics manufacturer is putting their name on something like branding, it's more likely to be reliable than something which is completely unbranded. And I have bought and returned mouses which are unbranded. You know, they were so reasonably priced that I bought them, but the performance was just terrible. Okay, terrible. As far as I'm concerned, for most users, I think it would be fine, which is why they exist in the first place, because lots of people probably buy them. As you can see, on-off switch at the bottom. This is an infrared, so it would be red. LED would flash there if it turns on. You can see all the rest of it. One battery, so obviously didn't last as long as the Logitech, because Logitech allows for 2 batteries. Second thing to keep in mind with regards to 2 batteries is that it does make the mouse a bit heavier. Okay, but this one fits just fantastically nicely in your hand, left or right, it doesn't matter. It's ergonomically designed ambidextrously. Okay, if that's a word. Okay, what else are we looking at? So this is another mouse that I bought, and okay, this is quite popular. Okay, loads of people have bought this mouse. This Logitech Pebble. I was going to do an unboxing of this on my channel. In fact, I might have even done the video, but I'm not sure if I uploaded it. And the reason is because I wasn't really happy with the performance. I think there's a 1600 DPI. It's got 2 connectors. You've got Bluetooth as well as USB. That's 2.4 gigahertz. You can turn it on. You can see how they didn't even bother with the off. Okay, they probably tried to save as much money as possible. Let's stick the on there. Forget about the off side. Okay. So as you can see, I've just turned it on at the moment. I'm going to turn it back off. All right. So with this one, 2 clicks, but it is silent. You can see that is a lot more silent than the previous TECKNET. Again, going back to the old logic, old school, you can see it's slightly louder. This one, I mean, you can barely hear it. So as far as that's concerned, it is luxurious, and it's built sort of plasticky, but still nonetheless it's solid, it's reliable, it's got a flat profile. So why did I go for the flat profile? Well, because I had another mouse before this one. But before we get into that one, you can see it opens just like this. The magnets hold it down. Okay, 1 battery in there. The USB goes there. You can see it's not in there. It's on another computer at the moment. You might notice that there's a bit of a paper bit in here, and that's me trying to do something which didn't ultimately work. So what was I trying to do? So with this mouse, the problem I've noticed, and I think there's other people who've also noticed this problem, and I think it's a manufacturing issue, and I think it's going to be there on every single mouse, which is this Logi Pebble. But for most people, they don't notice it, and I don't think it'll matter to them. For me, it's extremely important. So the issue with this mouse is when you click it, okay, and you click just the right amount that you need to click, not more, not less, and you drag it around, the mouse sort of clicks off and clicks back on again. So it kind of, it's like you're not holding it down all the way. Okay, so if I was doing this, okay, so moving it around and randomly kind of doing that, that's what it does, even though I've kind of had it pressed down. The only way you can prevent it is press even harder. Okay, now I think many people, when they're using their mouse, they press quite hard anyway, so they won't notice it. But I've noticed that some people who just press the right amount, okay, so they're not straining themselves or anything like that, if I make a single click and it works, I'm going to use the same amount of pressure to do the long press as well. Okay, and if I do that with this mouse, it was hit and miss. The second thing is the DPI is just not high enough for me. If I was drawing stuff around, it was kind of doing like, so if I was trying to draw a curve, it does like that, because there's just not enough DPI for it. There's just not enough resolution, so it does kind of like that, rather than just much more smoother like a circle, which is something you can only do with higher DPI. So there's another one. I can't say you shouldn't buy this one, because there's loads of people that I think are happy with this product. What I would say, however, is that for me, my experience wasn't that good. Even in the packaging, there was oil leaking, and You know, I had to wipe it off and things like that. So I'm not sure if it's a manufacturing issue. I'm not sure if it's a quality issue. But you would have thought that a Logitech mouse, which literally has a high reputation of working because they've been in the game since like 1990s and things, stuff like that. I remember my first mouse was probably a Logitech mouse, and it was it was probably your first mouse as well. So I wouldn't have expected it to not work because it sounds so perfect. You know, slimline, it's solidly built. I've got no concerns about sort of build quality. The clicks are quiet. This is ridiculous. This is too loud. I mean, this is a joke, but nonetheless, you know, it scrolls quite quiet. There's nothing, you know, mouse could have been perfect, but if they had fixed the click. So I tried to fix it by shoving some paper in here so that it kind of clicks better and it works better, but it didn't work. It doesn't work. It's still the same. So you have to press harder than I would like to press in order for it to get it to work. I shouldn't really have to press so hard because that's not how the design should be. Yeah, if it works on a single click, I should use the same pressure for the long press as well. So this one, I'd say mixed reviews. You can still go ahead and buy it. I'm sure it'll work fine for you. For other people, it might not work, okay? Because there's some people that leave bad reviews, and for me, this to be fair with you, this is not fit for purpose. So I won't even use this probably. Okay, it's kind of a waste for me, but for you it might work. Who knows? Before that mouse that I've just shown you, I bought this one. Okay, this is a very good mouse. Okay, I can't. I mean, I'll come into the point where, well, if this mouse is so excellent, why would I need to buy something else as a replacement? I'll come to that in a second. It is excellent. Okay, there's no doubt about that. This kind of has become the basic standard. I would never go below this level of mouse performance. So I'll talk you through it. Extremely quiet clicks. You can hear them, but very satisfactory. Okay, very quiet. I mean, if the TV's on, anything like that, and you're not going to disturb anyone else. And it has 1, 2, press for 3 button clicks, scroll wheel. This changes between the different connections you have. So you have Bluetooth 1, Bluetooth second connection, and the USB. So you can use this with 3 separate devices and you can switch between them. That's very useful for me because I definitely use 2 at a time. So it's very easy to just click, switch to another one, do something there, switch back. Okay, it is fantastic. It's got LED lights on the side which indicate whether it's USB or the connector 1, connector 2. And at the bottom, you've got the on, off. You can see how they didn't scrimp on the off. They've given you the both options. You got the DPI cycle. I think this one goes up to 3,200. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if you can find this mouse anymore online, but it is fantastic. I only bought it very recently, probably 1 year, maybe 2 years ago at the most. It's Jellycomb mouse. Okay, you can see the details at the bottom if you want to have a read through those. It says the model number there and so forth. 1 battery in there, but it lasts a very long time, okay, even though it's 1. Compare that with the cheap mouse that I showed you from TECKNET, which is this one. This was just eating through batteries like no one, and you can see that it's the same battery. Okay, so it wasn't the batteries, it is definitely how much energy this uses. It uses a lot more energy than this one. Okay, solid build quality. You've got slightly a rubberized kind of a feel here, but ever so slightly there. Overall it's kind of still plastic. It's got a thin coating of rubber. It's nice. Okay, matte, kind of shiny on top. This looks like metal even though it isn't. Plastic at the bottom, it doesn't matter. Solidly built. If you are looking for a mouse and you're right-handed, as you can see, the ergonomics, this is a right-handed mouse. Okay, let me grab it with my left hand, see if it works. It works. Yeah, it's not comfortable. Yeah, this is a right-handed mouse, obviously. Okay, so it's not ambidextrous, but nonetheless excellent. I think this should be the minimum standard as far as I'm concerned. So the only issue I have is, for me, the curve is a little bit high. Okay, so I'm not sure if I want to grab it like this or should I be grabbing it like this. Not really sure. When I grab it like that, which would feel like, oh my god, you know, that's literally the shape. My hand shape isn't like that. So for me, this is almost over ergonomic, and this was someone else's hand, not my hand. Okay, so what was happening is I was getting a bit of restraint, and I would have thought that because it's so ergonomically designed, it'd be fine. Well, I learned to adapt to it. Basically, I shouldn't. If I grab it like this, I was getting more restraint. So I started to grab it like that. So you can see that all the way down. So my hand is pretty much flat, and only my fingers are really wrapping that. That helped a lot. So if you're having a similar kind of issue and your mouse is like this as well, you can see it's not that large. You can see my hand and you can see how big the mouse is. But yeah, so for you it might be fine. Maybe your hand's larger, smaller, and it just fits you just right. But if you're having that kind of an issue, I would try this out. I mean, obviously speak to your doctor or physician or whatever, but I would try this out, see if it helps you, where you grab the mouse in a way that your hand is flatter rather than like this, where your hand is not flat. And so I use this, very happy, excellent performance, high DPI, smooth curves, no issues with long press. All the buttons, the back, these are the forward and back buttons. So you got 1, 2, 3 clicks, 4, 5, 6 buttons. This is back and forward on the side, not reprogrammable. It's only back and forward. You can't do anything else with that. Button on the bottom to cycle through DPI, and the on off. Okay, so turn it on. You can see the LED there, red colored, turning on, and I've now turned it off again. Okay. So if I turn it back on, you can see that it's currently trying to connect with a Bluetooth 1. That's Bluetooth 2. This is trying with a USB now. I'll switch it back to Bluetooth 1. It's broadcasting because I've deleted this mouse from my... Oh, it's just connected to something. No, it's turned off. So I did... yes, it's connected to the... I thought I deleted it from my computer, but it's still there, obviously. But there we are. That's the mouse that was the minimum standard that the next mouse would have had to meet. So of course the problem I was trying to solve is this issue with the wrist strain. So I knew it needed to be more flatter. So therefore I found this mouse. Okay, so this is the TECKNET wireless rechargeable silent mouse. So that gives you an indication of the minimum standard of a mouse. It needs to be silent, needs to be wireless. For me, needs to have at least 2 separate connections, not just one. That's not enough. And needs to be a bit like a flat profile, because as far as my hands are concerned, my hand doesn't like this kind of movements. Okay, it doesn't want a big mouse like this. It just wants a small flat mouse which I can move around with my hand. So this is the back. I have opened this already because the thing is I only wanted to unbox this on my channel if it was going to work, and I have bought a couple of mouses where I did the unboxing, did the video, and the performance was so horrendous, I'm like, I'm not bothering with the unboxing. Maybe I shouldn't do that. If I've spent the time filming something, I should kind of share it with you guys anyway. But nonetheless, this one, I opened it up, and only if it was satisfactory would I then publish this video. You can see it comes in other colors as well. So you've got black, gray, and silver. This one's silver. I didn't even know you got it in different colors. I just went for this one. It's very, very, very reasonably priced. Extremely reasonably priced. Okay, compared to the quality, compared to the performance, compared to the anything. And I did think, oh goodness, there's a TECKNET device. This one didn't do quite well. Should I buy another TECKNET one? But the thing is, this one came with a mouse. With the keyboard, which is still working fantastically well. I mean, I can't complain about the keyboard. So I thought, this one is probably a one-off. Let's give it a go. So without further ado, let's do the unboxing. 19 minutes in. Goodness me. Lovely. So without any further ado, let's get this unboxed. I mean, we are well within the video at this point, isn't it? We're approaching probably around 18-20 minutes at this point. But nonetheless, I hope it was worth the wait and you liked me sharing my thoughts. If not, you can skip to this part. I'm sure someone in the comments will leave a timestamp for you. So what you get here is the USB Type-C cable. Again, this is always useful because you can always even charge your phone with this one. So if you have one on your laptop for the mouse, you have another one of these in the wall socket. You know, the wall socket one you can use for your mobile phone. You can use the laptop one for your mobile phone and your mouse as well, for example. So it's quite nice of them to put this in. And the quality of the cable, from the looks of things, is very nice. It's very satisfactory. Okay, no problems there. Next, the mouse itself comes in this sort of a package here. The feeling is soft. Hope it's recyclable. What else do we get in the box? So we get here the TECKNET wireless rechargeable silent mouse TKMS001 US manual in English. And it tells you how you can open up the bag, how it works with charging. So you can only charge it after you've taken off the case. You can't charge it with the case on from the looks of things. That's no biggie, that's fine. So what does that mean? That means you can probably not use it whilst it's being charged, isn't it? Yeah. I would have thought, yes. So that's a one, I guess, drawback. If that's the sort of thing that's not going to work for you, you can't use this mouse whilst it's being charged, at least from the looks of things, because if you have to open this up to charge it up, you can't really click the buttons without the case on top. Okay. All right. That was the front. This is the back. Okay. There you go. If you want to scan that QR code, you can try and do that on the screen. Pause it there. Alright, so there we have it. That's the manual, okay? Put that aside. And coming back to the box, nothing else in there. Okay, put that aside as well. Alright, let's get this out. Fantastic. Okay, it looks lovely, doesn't it? I mean, it's plastic, obviously, but does it look like metal? Of course it does. Feels like a matte finish. Feels great texture, good grip. You can see how flat that profile is now, guys. Okay, very flat. So if someone like myself, whose hand does not like this kind of position, I mean, that is just fantastic. It says to pull this out. Don't see why. I mean, what does that do? It doesn't do anything, so what's the point of pulling it out? But anyway, I'm guessing it's there to indicate that, oh, this is brand new and all this kind of thing. Okay, so we already opened it up. It's magnetized, okay, similar to the Logitech one. So again, to show you that one again, you've got this magnet thing, which is quite clever actually, I have to say. You know, everything should work like that. This is again magnetized. I must say the bottom magnet is so strong, you feel like it's almost going to break apart, but it's not. It's just the magnet so strong. At the bottom, you've got indicators. Green means it's on with the USB this way. And then if you go all the way to the blue side, it means that it is now USB. Okay, so I guess what it means is if you can only see green, it's USB. If you can only see blue, it's Bluetooth. If you can see both, it's off. You can see in both cases they put a blue LED light rather than a red one underneath. I think that's pretty cool and it's nice and unique and modern. The button at the bottom is to cycle through the DPIs. And you can see other details at the bottom as well. Okay. Opening this one again, you've got the USB connector. And that is where you charge the device. Okay, so this is what I was saying, that if you're going to charge it from here, obviously I can't click anything now here because it clicks through these things over here. So basically you can't use it pretty much whilst it's being charged, but that's no biggie. That's not a big deal for me. If it is a big deal for you, you'll have to look for something else. Okay. But there we have it. I've actually test driven this. Okay, so there's just it's not a blind unboxing, so to speak, because like I said, goodness me, 2 or 3 mouses I've bought, where I did the unboxing before, and it was just a terrible performance. And I was like, I'm not gonna, publish that on my channel, and people thinking that it's a good mouse, but it's not, and so on, and being disappointed. I only want to unbox stuff that I like myself. So there we have it. There we have it, guys. I'm just going to click around. You hear the click. Okay. That's the middle click. So what I would say with this one is that it's comparable to this. You can see in terms of build quality, it's comparable. In terms of the price, I think it's comparable. This is probably going to be a little bit more than this one because it's got 3 connectors, remember, back and forwards button and so on and so on. And it's not ambidextrous, it's only right-handed, but excellent mouse. This is lighter because whereas this has a physical battery in there, this has a rechargeable, I'm guessing lithium ion, but who knows, battery in there. You can check the specifications. The only thing I would say with this one, the clicks are a little bit harder in terms of pressing, a little bit harder than this one. I prefer the click on this. It's nice and soft, and it's just the right amount. It's not, I don't need to press too hard, and it's not so that it presses accidentally. It's just spot on. With this one, I'd say it could do with slightly less resistance, but nonetheless, you know, no mouse is going to be perfect. I mean, technically in this one, I don't need these 2 buttons, and they sometimes get in the way. And sometimes when I'm repositioning them, I press this forward or backward button accidentally. So if I'm on a browser, it goes forward or backward without me wanting to do that. So every mouse is going to have its quirks, and nothing's going to be perfect. So in this case, it's just I have to press it a little bit harder than I need to. You can only connect with 2 devices and not 3 devices like this one. But the form factor, the ergonomics, the flatness of it, and even the looks, I mean, you know, that looks pretty good. I mean, I think you will agree. That looks plenty fine, okay? And when you turn it on, you can also see the light at the top. So blue light means it's connecting to Bluetooth. Green light means it's connecting to the USB. And you can again see that matches with the blue and green. So that sort of little details, the blue and green and so on and so forth, even these little marks at the bottom are very high quality, sort of etched or printed or embossed or whatever you want to call it. It's raised to the touch. It tells you it's good quality. It's good quality, okay? As compared to this, which is obviously their basic cheapest chips product. It's the same company, look, okay? It's both TECKNET. But this one is cheap, okay, and this one is more like, yeah, you know, fairly priced and that kind of thing. Similar to this one, this would be slightly more. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you are looking for mouses for one reason or another, I hope that this video was informative in terms of helping you make a decision as to what factors and things to look out for in a mouse. And thank you very much for tuning into this video. Please leave a like, comment below, any feedback, any suggestions. If you like this video, you know, if you think something else could have improved or done better, you know, really appreciate it. And subscribe to my channel as well. In fact, that's pretty much the only thing that motivates me to even make these videos, because, you know, every now and then another person subscribes and I'm like, thanks so much for that. I'm now probably gonna have to, you know, make another unboxing video, something like that. So thanks very much for tuning in again. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.